Right. Well, let's turn on some music, huh? Just one sec. Yes. Audio library. And then we're going mood. Let's just go calm. Right now. Why not, right? Sure. I like it. I could dig it. Turn it down a little bit. Okay. Sorry, I've got some white noise in the background. I'm printing something for my older brother on my 3D printer. Alright, so let's see where we were. Oh, that's why. Okay. So we got some of the basic shapes done for that. So I guess what we would do now... I've never done this before. Let's see what we can... I want to adjust some of this a little bit. Let's see. Just want to get like a little more shape on there instead of them being straight up and down. Make them more rings, you know? Okay. Yeah. Take some eraser here. Okay. Sometimes I think like a little bit of space helps you come back and see some needed changes. So I think one of the things is key blasts in the show, they're not actually particularly artistic. They're pretty much straight glowing with like a little bit of an aura around it. So let me think. So kind of what I'm seeing is I think we're actually going a little too big on these. I think they need to be cut down quite a bit, and it needs to be more chaotic. So maybe what I can do is I can just change the outline a little bit. Let's see, where was that layer? Here we are. Oh, it's been a long day. So I'm a DoorDash driver, right? So it's freelance work. I pretty much work my own schedule, and I get paid what I get paid. I rely mostly on tips, and so today was a good chunk of the day that I'm used to making about $20 an hour, which is perfect for what I've got going on. But today, man, there was this whole chunk of time where like I could not get more than maybe $13 an hour. It was not pleasant. I kind of grew up in a culture where like being angry wasn't really acceptable. So I always kind of felt like I was a bad person for getting angry. Um, what I've realized is anger is just a natural emotion. Like, people just get angry, and that's okay. There's not actually anything wrong with anger. Anger is one of those things where the emotion itself doesn't need to be. I mean, it's a negative emotion, but it's not a bad emotion, if that makes sense. Really, there are no bad emotions. Um, so it's just kind of a matter of what do you do with that anger, right? And if you suppress your anger too much, it can kind of lead to the problem of now you really feel the need to act out, whereas if you had handled it and managed it instead of suppressing it, maybe you felt like maybe you could have felt like you could handle it in a more productive way. So anyway, yeah, I was kind of struggling with anger today. I just you have plans for the day. I'm gonna be doing some meal prep this week for this upcoming semester at college, and so I had a grocery order I needed to pick up at 8, and my financial goal for the day was it was like 160. And so that's 8 hours of work if you're making $20 an hour. But when you're making $13 an hour, it's not. And it's just that's part of what's difficult as a freelancer is like you have less control over the money side of things. Like if you have an hourly job, you're like getting that money, right? So if I worked at Walmart, like I'm getting paid, whatever it is per hour, regardless of if it's busy or not. What kind of what's kind of whack is in hindsight, I did work at Walmart for a while. It was awful, by the way. I generally avoid shopping at Walmart because I don't know. I believe it's kind of your responsibility to. I mean, you basically decide which companies live, which companies get to exist, and which companies don't. Um, and I don't like some of that. I think that's too cluttered. That's another thing about doing things in layers. Is Krita actually does have a limit on how many undos. You can see I've reached that limit. And so if I had to go in and adjust everything, that would be a big pain in the bahookie. But I just go in and I just erase stuff. Obviously Control Z is faster, but what you gonna do, right? Anyway. Oh, yeah. You just, you decide what companies you want to exist by how you spend your money, right? If Walmart does well financially, that's because of its consumers, right? So if I work for Walmart and I say, I hate this company, they don't treat their employees well, um, you know, I just kind of feel like it's my duty to just not really shop there in the future. Um, but it's a less than perfect world we live in, and I am certainly less than perfect. And at the end of the day, I picked convenience over, what maybe I would have thought was the right thing. And it's not a particularly strong moral stance, I guess. So I'm not really beating myself up for using Walmart today. I'm just a little bit like, Normally I wouldn't. Normally I don't do online orders, but I got like, this is kind of a crazy number. I got like $350 worth of food. And that sounds insane, but it's because I'm meal prepping for the semester. So the idea is like, it's not quite enough for the whole semester, but the idea is that, I won't have to buy food for quite a while. I think it's going to cover about 2 or 3 months for me. So, which is it's really not bad. So I think a fatal error I kind of made here is I went too soft. Right? So, you can see, just take the rings here. They're like, bloop. And I can go in and I can make some changes there. But yeah, for like, it's too nice. That's what I was doing. Anyway. Oh, yes. I was just really discouraged at work because I knew I had this delivery coming up, this order at 8. Um, and then I needed to, put it all away. And at that point, I've been trying to go to bed at around midnight every night. I'm generally a night owl, but this year I just kind of want to, I don't know, I guess I want to be more productive. I want a more regular sleep schedule, and I want a sleep schedule that's like more compatible with society. Um, so, I don't know, I've been trying to go to bed at midnight, and it was just discouraging because I just felt like there wasn't enough time to get what I needed done, and, it's just the name of the game. But another thing I do is I actually save for, I know it's crazy because it doesn't make any, it works for my head, so we're just going to go for it. But basically, I save PTO, and I do that by what I'll do is in my daily budget, I just have a category called PTO, and I just put money in there. And so the expectation for the day is to earn, let's say $160. I earn that 160, and that includes that PTO. And then on future days, if I'm, either A, if I'm going through to do my budget and I'm not making enough money that day, or if I'm not making enough money that day, or if I have something come up that I want to take some time off for, all I have to do is erase money from that section. And so now, in order for my budget to balance, you see I use like a budgeting app. In order for my budget to balance, all I need is $130. So today I actually had some PTO saved up, and so I ended up just, allowing myself to feel frustrated, and then came up with a solution. And part of that solution was just making it where I didn't need to work until, it was like time to go to bed. Because that just sucks, right? That just sucks. Okay. So I think we might actually be at a point where I might actually merge these layers. That's what I'm kind of thinking. It's kind of a gamble, but we're just gonna go for it. It's because I kind of want to be able to, it's starting to work as its own entity. So let's just get all these merged together. And I'm probably only going to be on here for another 15 minutes or so. I'm sure nobody's watching. I can check, I guess. Yeah, nobody's watched. I doubt anybody will come in and watch it after the fact either. I'll respond to somebody. Right. Okay, so all these are combined now. So I think I can come in and be a little more. So you could see what I was doing before. You kind of end up with like waves instead of these points. So I'm going to try something different where I just go through and make kind of these lines first. And then I'll kind of go through and meet the lines, if that makes sense. So, like that. And we're just going to do kind of a basic. It's going to look bad at first, but I'm pretty sure I can get it to do what I'm going for. Oy. Oy. It looks bad. We'll see if this... Oh, man. Okay. I'm gonna go through and undo this before it's too late. Because somebody went through and merged all the layers. No! Okay. Alright. I think it's fine. And we're gonna do some blending here. Okay. Go in on the inside as well. So, unfortunately, recently I've been going through a divorce. Um, a pretty big believer in, marriage and making it work and such, but I was cheated on a couple times, and um, in my personal opinion, there's a couple reasons that are, you know, good enough for divorce, and being cheated on is one of those. So, needless to say, we're calling it quits. But the thing is the company I used for all of this. So at first she was being very combative about it. That changed later on. And so I ended up not really even needing the company, but I had already kind of like started, so, you know, you use what you're used to, right? So, I'm just going with this company, and they've just created so many delays. So I'm a young guy. She was young. We were both young. We didn't really have any assets. I mean, we had three cars. I only really want one car. I don't really feel the need to have more than one. So I said, hey, if you give me the pick of which, you know, you can have the other two. So she went for it. And past that, I mean, I was the only one making income, so I kept the place we're renting. We were like, I'm still renting, but she's not. So where is, I mean, I guess it would be past tense, right? Anyway, so, and then this company has just been delay after delay after delay. And, you know, some of the delays have been my fault, but most of it's just been this company's awful. And so, again, no assets, no kids, no conflict, really. And this divorce has taken a year. And I will say, you know, our relationship was really toxic, and I just want it to be freaking over. And this company has just dragged their feet this whole time. It's been very frustrating. But the news is today I checked the tracking number for her to get her part to sign. So I've already filled out all the paperwork on my end. So all I was waiting for was the company sending her stuff and her filling it out. So anyway, I checked the tracking number today, and it is finally happening. It's finally going through. So she should have gotten it in the mail today. I don't check up on her regularly, but I'm sure she got it. And then all she's got to do is fill it out, send it back to the company. There's instructions included. And then they should submit it to the courts, and I bet within a month the divorce will be final, which is just a relief. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm disappointed that we couldn't work it out. Right? Like I said, I'm a big believer in marriage. I'm a big believer in compromise and trying to make things work, but we had gone to couples therapy, and ultimately at the end of the day, she just wanted to be with this other guy. And I don't really know what their relationship is like right now, if they even started dating or anything, but it doesn't really concern me. But I just knew I was kind of done just feeling that way. Feeling like you're somebody's second choice is just not a good feeling. So anyway, my point is just disappointing, but I'll be glad when it's over. It's that you know, you want the resolution at the end. So, not gonna lie, this isn't going well. I think I can fix it, but this is not going well. But yeah, that was exciting news to get today. Just finally seeing that tracking number say that the paperwork had, you know, was arriving today. It's just such a good feeling. See what ended up happening with this. Oh, what is happening? No. Why am I in like this grabbing mode? What the I don't know what's happening right now. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got a little bit of a problem here. We just gotta go through and erase stuff. Awkward. What's art without some setbacks, right? But yeah, it will be in a week, it will be exactly 1 year from when she left. So the fact that it's just barely finishing up is like, oh, really? Okay. I've never encountered this problem before. It's like something with the pen. It's just weird. What is happening? Ah! So weird. I've never had that problem before. Ugh. But yeah, I'm very much known for being a super loyal friend, and I tend to overcommit. It's part of the problem. And so when we first got together, I was just gung ho about making it work, and the problem is like both people need to be on board with that. And she was always very wishy washy about it. And so what that kind of does is it creates this culture of Quentin tries, and I won't disclose her name, and she absorbs that. She takes that. She enjoys that. And then at the end of the day, like, responsibility falls on me to manage her emotions, to manage the household, to you know meet her needs and her wants, and it doesn't reciprocate, right? So I do her a favor, or I do something that I don't particularly want to do because it makes her happy, and then my return for that is nothing, right? So that's just a really defeating place to be in. Like, it's easier to not put in effort. Like, it's easier to not get anything without putting in effort than to not get anything and put in effort, right? But even that, I was willing to, I wasn't having a good time by any means. But again, I have that loyalty aspect, so, I wanted to stick it through, figure out solutions, rise above it. But at the end of the day, I have my list of deal breakers, and being cheated on, that's just one of them. So, what's kind of a hit to the self-esteem is the guy. He's some like pizza-faced weirdo. It's kind of weird. I actually went to high school with him. So I also won't disclose his name because I'm not a prick. And for all I know, there's people on here watching that I knew from high school. So I'm not really trying to call him out publicly. That is like a thing, though. Sometimes it's like I said, I went to high school with them. And sometimes it's like, oh, you wronged me in such a significant way. Like, what if I just told everybody? But ultimately, at the end of the day, like, he can be the person he wants to be. and I would rather be the version of myself that, I want to be. So I choose to basically let it go. They can have each other. At the end of the day, I'm happier by myself, and if they're happier with each other, all power to them, right? Keep in mind, there's only part of me that believes that, but I want to believe it, so okay. So I got some good shapes going on here, I think. Dude, there we go again. What is going on? There we go. Dude, go figure. Yeah, dude, that's getting old real fast. Holy. I'm being forced to press buttons I shouldn't have to press. I might just need to save or something. Close out of the program. I've actually left this up since last time I filmed. I haven't turned this off. So maybe it just needs to be reset or something. Well, it's 11:50. I'm supposed to be going to bed in 10 minutes. So I should probably go. I got a lot of food prep to do tomorrow. And then I'm gonna try to get a huge jump on my homework. So my thought is, if I'm a week ahead, then, and I just treat it like everything's, due a week before, then procrastination, getting it done last minute, it's not as risky. So, okay. Let me end the stream here. Yep, no views. Cool.